There's a show on CBS called Evil, which is a cheap knockoff of The X-Files, minus the aliens, where a forensic psychologist has teamed up with someone who works for the Catholic Church in order to investigate supposed supernatural phenomenon to try to find out whether or not there's a scientific explanation for them. In one recent episode, a teenage girl unexpectedly died, but miraculously rose from the dead 3 hours later when her body was in the morgue, and it was hailed as a miracle all over town. After a thorough investigation, the Mulder and Scully knockoffs finally figured out what really happened. Then the believer, the Black Fox Mulder, not the skeptic, went into the head hospital administrator's office with a stack of medical records for the big reveal.
These are your Caucasian patients. Did you know that on average during a cold, your doctors perform 58 minutes of chest compressions and rescue breathing on Caucasian patients? And these are your African American patients. Your doctors on average perform chest compressions and rescue breathing of 23 minutes on them. Naomi Clark came back to life in the morgue because your ER staff called her time of death 30 minutes earlier than if she were white. That's why this wasn't a miracle. It was implicit racism.
Wow, the doctors didn't work hard enough to save her life because she's black. Institutional racism isn't just in the police departments, it's in the hospitals too. I have a better explanation of what happened here, sir. You've been infected with the liberal pathogen and you're hallucinating that Nazis are around every corner. Liberals are obsessed with hating white people these days, and now Michael Moore says you should be afraid to walk on the same side of the street as white people.
2/3 of all white guys voted for Trump. That means anytime you see 3 white guys walking at you down the street toward you, 2 of them voted for Trump. You need to move over to the other sidewalk because these are not good people that are walking towards you. You should be afraid of them.
Yes, she says, you can't walk on the same side of the street as white people. Before he dropped out of the race, Julian Castro said that the Iowa caucus, which is coming up pretty soon, should not kick off the voting in presidential elections because too many white people live there.
I don't believe that the 2 states that begin the process, Iowa and New Hampshire, are reflective of the diversity of our country or of our party. One of the things I've pointed out, for instance, is that as we look at other states to consider to go first, we should look at the urban to rural sort of mix, right? And pick a state that has a good urban to rural mix. I think in Iowa that it actually tends to tilt toward a more rural, right, state. And the same thing in New Hampshire.
It tends to tilt more rural, says the geography genius. Gee, what gave it away, Julian? Was it all those cornfields? We get it, Julian. It's the white people. There's too many white people. Obviously, he prefers that our elections kick off in Mexico. I mean, what's next? Is Joe Biden going to say that schools should stop giving students tests because they're racist too? Oh, wait, what's this?
Given that standardized testing is rooted in a history of racism and eugenics, if you are elected president, will you commit to ending the use of standardized testing in public schools?
Yes. As one of my friends in black pastors, I spent a lot of time, Reverend Herring would say, you're preaching to the choir, kid, okay?
Standardized tests are racist now, and a form of eugenics. Many in the Democrat Party are upset that all of their frontrunners are now white, and Cory Booker thinks it would be inappropriate if the nominee were to pick another white running mate.
I don't think we should have 2 white men on the ticket anymore, not because there's not great, talented, incredible white men, but I also believe that with the diversity of our party, the strength in leadership, having diverse tickets, as Harvard Business School has said, diverse teams are stronger teams.
It's incredible. Martin Luther King Day was just last week, but the Democrats have already forgot that you're supposed to judge a man by the content of their character, not the color of their skin.
Tonight, the NAACP is calling on administrators at Florida Gulf Coast University to do something about a new sign posted on campus that says it's okay to be white.
Whoever's posting these photos, I don't think they're realizing how triggering these posters are for people.
Turns out the same message was posted on college campuses across the country this past week.
It's a passerby who saw the banner before police arrived who took it down.
It's a statement that being white is under attack right now, and that's just not true.
And with the Oscars coming up in less than 2 weeks, many are getting increasingly upset that too many white people were nominated for awards because they made too many good movies last year. One critic for Time magazine is upset that there weren't enough black people in Joker, even though Arthur, who would later become the Joker, had a black girlfriend and a black therapist. In Joker, black women are visible, but they are not seen. What the heck does that mean? The critic is even upset because there's a scene in the movie which is shown in the trailer where Arthur's trying to entertain a kid on the bus, and the mother turns around and snaps at him and tells him to stop bothering her son. That scene perpetuates the stereotype of the angry black woman, says Time magazine. There really is no end to the madness. One critic over at Complex magazine compiled a list of the 50 most racist television shows, which include sitcoms like Friends and Seinfeld, because there aren't enough people of color in leading roles. If you want more awesome videos like this, which are destined to be demonetized, this year sponsor me directly through YouTube by clicking the join button below the video and kicking in $5 or $10 a month so I can keep it up. Not only will you be encouraging me to make more awesome videos, but you'll also get a cool little icon next to your username in the comments. New sponsors will get a Russian bot icon. After 1 month, it'll change to a dice. After 2 months, it'll change to a Trump Thug Life picture. And then after 6 months, it'll be a Trump is growing stronger icon. So let's keep on rocking. Click the join button below the video and check it out.